We don't use any chemicals for the grass, and you can see how much grass we have everywhere in this moment. We are trying to control, but I'm Nicola De Ferrari. I manage Boscarelli, the estate, with my brother now and my mother. And the estate has been founded in 1962, has been bought by our grandfather, that by two small estates, semi-abandoned. Here there were some row of vines. In the middle was used for corn grain, sunflowers. Everything was used in a traditional way. And our grandfather, that was born in that small town, was Acquaviva. He was knowing very well the area. He was knowing how the temperature could change in few meters of fineness. He was a wine lover, so he decided when he was quite 60 to buy these two estates and start to plant first vineyard. His project was to produce few thousand bottles of wine for himself or friends. He had not a project of a label or nothing else. In the 60s, when you talk about a high density vineyard, you have to consider 3,000, 3,500 plants per hectare. Means that because of the rules and the law we have here for the production of Vino Nobile, means you have to produce about 2 kilo, 2.5 kilos of grape per plant. And with Sangiovese we saw that is quite too much. So you can't have good quality every year. You can have some vintages with great quality, but some other with the quality really lower. So we see that reducing the production, you can have much more stability every year. And so in the late 80s, when we start to replant, we decide to increase the number of plants per hectare. Now the vineyard where we are 7,000 plants. So we double the number of plants. The study around Sangiovese clones, you have to understand that clones are like brothers in a family. So the family is Sangiovese, then there are several different clones. The problem of the old Sangiovese was that was extremely productive. Big bunches, big berries, to produce big quantity of grape per plant. So the goal and the research has been in the last 20 years, 30 years, to select the clones that produce smaller bunches with smaller berries, in order to have more resistance on the climate, on the situation, and a better relation in between juice and skin, because you know everything comes from the skins. Juice is just sugar and water finally, and acidity. You have to walk in a vineyard, select a plant and put a colored signal on. This has been done for a couple of years. If for 2 years the plant produces as you want, during the pruning in February or January, February, when you prune, you take the branches from that plant and you give to a nursery. The nursery, from the branches that receive, produce new plant, grafted on the graft you consider the best for your land, for your place, for your temperature, for the climate, and for everything. So it's a long process. Every year you can select some and made new plant. Not necessarily the new plant has exactly, because the soil changed, the same results than the old one. So it happened that now the plant we are selecting are from vineyard selected 20 years ago, that now we are reselecting to have new plant. But in this way, you don't move one clone of Sangiovese, but you move several different clones of Sangiovese, and finally the complexity you can have in a glass of wine comes from all the different small things you can have, and everything you have is from the grape. Now we have about 22 hectares of vineyard. To grow is not our goal. We grow every time we found a good place, a good parcel that can produce high quality. So the idea is to follow what our grandfather wants, produce a great wine. Then if you are also able to make a wine that consumer likes, because Sangiovese is not an easy grape. It's extremely interesting, but is not easy to be understood.